your science teacher. We are learning chapter 3, atoms and molecules. Now, what is next? As what we saw, what is the size of an atom? The size of an atom is very small. Now, next question arises to them is, what are the modern day symbol? Now, definitely, if we write the name of a hydrogen, it's too long, or oxygen, carbon. So that is the thing they required. That is the thing they require symbols in order to represent an atom. So whenever they have to represent an atom, they write it through symbol, right? But first of all, Dalton was the first scientist to use symbols, right, in a very specific sense. So Berzelius suggested certain symbols of the elements which are given below, if you see, right, and Dalton was the first, as what I said, who have talked about symbols. Can you see here? Hydrogen, the symbol sounds sees like this. The phosphorus is a Mercedes symbol, right? All those things. Anyways, this symbols was later challenged, right? Means in the beginning the names of the element was derived. Actually, the how does you think a little? See, it's not all about symbol; it's about name also. Why do we call copper as a copper only, right? How does the name comes into existence? So, in the beginning, the name of the element was given from the place where they were found. Beginning, it's not always all names are given in that way. Again, I am repeating. In the beginning, the name of an element was given from the name of the place where they were found for the first time. Right? For example, copper was found from Cyprus. Right? So, we have given name as copper. Even the gold, right? It's yellow in color, that's why they name it as gold. But nowadays, if you want to find out, so for example, let's say any of you did a research and find out a new element, right? Possible, it's not like that, because we keep on researching and getting the new things. So, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, we call it IUPAC, right? In 11th standard, you are going to learn IUPAC nomenclature. 10th also you will get a little detail, but not more. In 11th, you have a chapter in chemistry, the whole thing they are going to explain what is IUPAC nomenclature. Little is given here, let me show you. You have to remember this full form of IUPAC. Now, whenever you have to give a symbol or a name or anything, they will approve this. Then only you cannot say this is the symbol and this is the name and everybody will use it. No, right? So, international organization approves the name, symbols and units. Now, many times happen is, for example, copper, right? Let's say if I want to write down copper, then I write down copper as carbon and copper. They both start with C, okay? Carbon and copper, they both start with C. So, let's say I given carbon as capital C. Then what should I given name as copper? C. Or let's say I give a name of chlorine, right? Many things, right? So, what should I write? Again I write C, then there is a confusion here. So, they write down what they write down. So, they write down as Cu, okay? They try to give two letters instead of that, okay? So, what they are trying to tell you is how to give a name, okay? How to give a name. See why I wrote here Cu, because cobalt is given Co. So, there is one more confusion, right? Even two letters. Are you getting? So, what I am trying to tell you is they are trying to take the symbol of that element, atom. Carbon is given as C. Cobalt is given Co. If one letter is occupied, they are going to take two letters. Then they don't take third letter. That's why they are using Cu as copper. Okay. So, here the name of the letter, many of them, their first or two letters, and always remember the first letter, whatever we write down in the first letter is always in capital. First letter we always write in capital. If you see carbon, capital C, Copper, I say it's capital C and small u. Second letter can never be capital. This is called IUPAC nomenclature. For example, here if you see hydrogen is capital H. Aluminium, we write down A and small l, not A and capital L. Cobalt also CO, capital C, small o. Similarly, you must be wondering there are certain letters, right? Chlorine, Cl, zinc, Zn, right? But other symbols are given from the Greeks, Latins and Germans, right? For example, iron. What is the symbol of iron? Symbol of iron is Fe. Then you must be wondering, sir, iron, IR, it's not IR. Why it is Fe? Because it is from Latin name. What do they call iron in Latin? Ferrum. So from ferrum they give you Fe. And sodium, natrium. So that's why, right, we write Na in sodium. Potassium we write kalium. So kalium is K. So these are the letters or names given in Latin, German and Greek. Based on that they have given symbols. So certain names are given based on Latin, Greeks and German. Not all on this English, right? So basically as soon as you go and study further in this thing, this is a small IUPAC introduction to IUPAC nomenclature. As what I said, in 10th it will come a little more, and 11th you have just you have a whole chapter of IUPAC nomenclature. I hope you are getting what I am trying to say. We have seen what are the symbols of atoms, how do we name, how do we symbolize them, right? So I said symbolization can be done from the first letter of a name or first two letters of a name, but certain names are given from where they have given or where they have found from the place. And lastly, right, even the names are given based on Latin, German and Greeks. Now the next question we are going to see is an atomic mass. Now atomic mass, as what I said, is a challenge. Why it is a challenge? We already know that atom is so small. How can you weight it? It is not possible. You cannot put it on the weighing scale and then you weight it. No. Then how do you get a mass of an atom? So that's why they try to use law of constant proportion given by Dalton, right, to measure the atomic mass. But you know, individual mass is a difficult task. You cannot measure the mass of an individual. So what did they do? For example, they said carbon monoxide, CO. This will also I will tell you why do they say monoxide. See, carbon and oxygen. So they said carbon oxide. Now mono, why it is mono, that I will tell you later. Okay. So monoxide. Carbon monoxide has one carbon and one oxygen, right? Carbon monoxide has one carbon and one oxygen. See. Now how to prepare CO? So basically they said if we have 4 gram of oxygen, right, and 3 gram of carbon, you will form carbon monoxide. 3 gram of carbon and 4 gram of oxygen, when they combine, it will give you CO. Now the question arises, how do we measure, right? In other words, carbon combines in 4/3 forms. So basically they combine in 4/3 forms, right? So the question is, what we are talking is how to find out an atomic mass. So suppose they say, suppose, right? What is the unit of atomic mass, right? So they simply said atomic mass unit, atomic mass unit. They given, see, we have to give some unit. For example, weight is given in kg, gram, length is given in centimeter, meter, kilometer, right? Similarly, the unit of atomic mass is AMU. So what is the unit of atomic mass? AMU. And what is the full form of AMU? Atomic mass unit. But they have again reduced it to U only U. Okay. See. But according to IUPAC recommendation, they have just said U. U is not unit. U means unified mass. U means unified mass. Okay. So understand this thing. We have learned how to give a symbol, names, and finally we are learning an atomic mass. Remember this much, right? Tomorrow I'm going to teach you more on atomic mass and molecular mass. That's it for a day. Thank you so much.